Hello everybody. So in today's video I'm going to show y'all how I draw handwritten skeleton text and convert them into my own style. This is not my image. This is something I found on Pinterest and I really liked it, so I thought I'd save it as an inspiration for something later down the line. So whoever the artist is did a really cool job, so to whoever this is, thumbs up to you or her. And what the artist did in this rendering is how they just used one color and just a whole lot of detail, and then just a little bit of a light gray to do this piece, which I think is just probably an opacity or a low opacity of this color, which is somewhat of a black. And the nice thing about this design is it can be multi-purpose. It can be used as a t-shirt design, and it can be used as stickers. And if you think about doing t-shirt design, and if this was a t-shirt design, think about the whitish gray background as the color of the t-shirt. So if you did this just in the black color, you would just be able to turn that layer off and then be able to put it on blue, green, yellow, or any light colors. So with that being said, let me go ahead and hide this layer now and start the video and show you all what exactly I wanted to do for you guys today. So this is something that I worked on early on before starting the video, so I just wanted to show it to y'all. And what I did was I just wrote the word skull, and then I just started building off of it. Hold on. So originally what I did draw was just the word skull, or write the word skull, and then I gave it like a nice 3D look. Then I added these little skulls and these little worms just to add some character to it. And then to add to the detail, I just added the skull, obviously. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna group this layer back, turn it off, and these are just some words that I wrote, and I asked my wife and my kids for some suggestions. And so the words are backbone, finger, arm, skeleton for obvious reasons, and ribcage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select each one of these words and then try to transform them into some cool text with some skeleton themed stuff going on in them. So what I'll do first is make a new layer, move this to the top. Before making a new layer, I'm going to use the selection tool and just select the word backbone, and then I'm gonna hit copy selection. And why didn't it do that? Duplicate selection, there we go. Turn that off, turn this layer off, come back to this one, select it, and I'm gonna bring it to the center of the page, maybe make it a little bit bigger. And that seems about nice. Now what I'm going to do is reduce the opacity on this layer down to about 30, so it's still visible. And then I'm going to make a new layer on top of that, and then just pick the vector brush and just choose a dark color. And I think let's go with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is start out with this B, and then just follow the line that I did make. The whole point of doing this is just to create something unique from text. Doesn't have to be thought out. You can do something that you want to. It doesn't have to be the word backbone. It could be any word you like. This idea was something that I liked in the aspect of the other YouTuber that I do follow. He had done a video like this, so I wanted to do something of my own based on that illustration what I showed you in the beginning. So now I'm gonna do the inside of the B. What's nice with this type of an exercise or illustration is you get to work with text and you get to work with different things to bring it all together to make it something unique. It's almost like doodling, but just in a skeleton format. We have our little B. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate that layer. I'm gonna turn down the opacity and then I'm just gonna move it up or down till about there. I'm gonna come back to the original layer that I was working on, just turn it on and off to make sure it's the correct layer, and then follow these lines and just connect these with the original text, or in this case the alphabet. So what I'm thinking of doing with this letter, since it's backbone, I'm gonna give it kind of like a earthy garden feel, like with like bugs, like all little worms, so to make it look like it's, if this text was found somewhere in a garden, just thrown away, or you know, just lying around. So I try to do that as well. So I'm gonna delete this layer now because I'm done with it. Come back to this, and then since it's this part's on the inside, I'm gonna color that in with drop shadow or color. And then now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put some lines on this. Playing with text and giving it all these different illustration design looks is fun, because there's really a lot of things that you can do with text and typography, especially like if you want to design like text-based t-shirts. This vector trimming tool is a real cool tool. It's like having a digital magic eraser. I think when I seen it the first time, when this one of the artists was doing an illustration, I was like, man, that's a cool tool to have. Can you imagine having an eraser like that when you are drawing traditionally? Make your work so much more easier. So now, since I don't want this video to be more than like 10 hours long, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my way through the other alphabets. I'll just do it with a small little time lapse and show y'all how I do that, and then I'll show y'all, slow it down again to show y'all how I build the kind of like a world around this text. Alright, so this is what I got done with. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new layer, and then since I said earlier on that I'm going to give it a garden kind of a look, so what I'm going to do is draw some leaves around it, kind of look like it's flying through the text. I'm going to draw maybe some worms, and then also maybe draw some broken wood pieces. So first draw one leaf. Use the eraser. When you do this, you can just maybe duplicate this and then place it all over. So we'll do that leaf that way, and then the other leaf, we'll just do it as an outline. And then just do the veins of the leaf this way. So now I'll draw draw the wooden piece, or kind of like the piece of the fence that's broken. And I think depending on how the time goes, if I have time left at the end of this video, I'll color these in and then show y'all what they look like colored if y'all are interested. If not, this is just something y'all can try on your own and see how y'all like it. Now what I'm gonna do is just walk with these different things around here. Oh yeah, and as I said, draw the worm. So for the worm, what I'm using is the outline brush that already comes pre-selected or with Adobe Fresco, and with that all I do is, there we go, our little worm. Draw one over there and maybe one up here. This kind of a brush, I had to have my daughter manually make me something like this in Procreate, but it's kind of cool that they already have this pre-selected. So now what I'm also going to do is, since I said these the text is going to be in a garden setting, I'm going to kind of turn them around so it looks like as if the text is flowing in the wind as well. So let me do that also as a quick time lapse, and then I will show you guys what I end up with. Alrighty people, so this is what I ended up with. So the extra things that I did was I did this twine kind of look through the text, so it kind of looks like there were some creepers growing through it, and then I just added some more leaves, the worms which I told you. I didn't actually add any more, I just kept these two, and then I just added these small little black leaves, and then I gave these two hints of the backbone in this. So now what I'm gonna do is not gonna color it on camera, but I'll color it off camera and show it to y'all in the very end. And what I will do now is show y'all the next one that I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna turn that layer off, turn this one on, bring it to the top, turn down the opacity, make a new layer, and then start with this. So I'm thinking for the word finger, let's try doing it in a whole bone texture, or just bones. Sometimes these vector brushes are a little weird, is that even though it's set at 10, it'll be thin, and then suddenly if I close the program down and come back to it, suddenly the lines end up looking thicker without me even pushing down on the pen. So I don't know if that's something to do with Adobe. So now I'm going to do another bone, crossing this. Almost like it's fused to this one. And I think for this one, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try giving it some sort of twine look, kind of like the last one, kind of like a creeper plant has grown over it. Now the bone coming over here. This is actually fun doing, showing how different bones can be made into text. I'm gonna do the eye as well, and then for the remaining part of it, just do a time lapse. I would do these all in real time, but I just don't know how long those videos would actually get and if people would actually be even interested in looking at it in real time. Maybe a live demo on someday, if I can get it to figure out how that actually works. Okay, so we have the F Oh, and the eye. Need to definitely make that. Let's do the eye as a little stone. Just give it some lines. Okay, so now for the next part of it, I'm just gonna continue with the word finger, and then I'll just show you guys at the end of it what it looks like, and we'll go from there. So this is what the text looks like, guys. I added some twine, like I said. Added some leaves. I didn't add any worms because I was like, the twines already kind of look like worms. So what I'm gonna do now is, since the video is already up to 20 some minutes without any editing, I'm going to continue coloring this, and let me just, oops, that's not what I want to do. So for the next three words, which is arm, skeleton, and rib cage, I'm just gonna do that off camera, and then when I check back with you guys with the magic of editing in a few minutes, I will show you guys what it looks like colored, and we'll go over what I did. So this is what I ended up doing with the skull, guys. I ended up putting some leaves around it, and then I did these little dots with the stylus to make it look like it had kind of like an exploded look, but just like these dots were supposed to represent like little fragments of like stone. And then the next one, which was the backbone one I did, was kept the same color palette, the black and the beige, and then for the pieces of wood I just chose the color of wood, and then for the leaves, obviously the color of leaves, and for these little bugs or worms, a yellow and a little kind of like an earthworm look. The next one is the finger one. Again, I kept the same color palette of the beige and the black, obviously because of the line art, and then I just turned these little twines into yellow twines. This one for the arm, I just added some few branches, and then I gave it kind of like a moss green kind of a look. For the skeleton one, this is what I did. Gave him kind of like a smoky look, and I was going to shade these, but then I was like, no, it's going to take too much time, so that's what I did. And then for the rib cage one, this one I played around with a lot. I did a few renderings, and then I didn't like how they turned out, so then this is the final one I settled with. And I used the other vector pen or brush which I showed you, the one with the light outline, to make the rib cages, or the rib cage. And then this is all of them on one page: the skull, the backbone, the skeleton, the rib cage, the finger, and then the arm. What I have done is I actually made a duplicate file of this, and what I'm gonna do is I'm thinking of turning each of these into stickers, and then maybe the skeleton and the backbone and the skull one maybe into like a t-shirt design. So I don't know how that's gonna turn out, but it looks nice on this blue background, so I'm thinking of doing it something for like a light colored t-shirt, like either like a white, light blue, or a yellow or something like that, because those t-shirts that have like minimalistic color always tend to pop a little bit more. So with that being said, guys, I will go ahead and wrap this video up by saying keep creating, keep drawing. I'll see you all down the road or on the other side. Bye for now.